Welcome back. So in last episode we had that big reveal of the 79 series and all that good gear from Terrain Tamer 4-wheel drive. In this episode we're going to have the mods we've done to the Hilux. From humbling beginnings way back then, we used to drive this Hilux on the road. We wheeled it, we even competed with it. Until, those of you that know it, we sit on 40s with 80 series diffs, hydro assist steering, twin transfer cases, still on leaf springs. Loaded up on the trailer. It's going on an excursion. And what we're going to do, we're going to be fitting what we're going to reveal at the show, which will be new to us. And no, it's not those funny coily things that I had in the picture here when I was replacing the leaf springs. I would never do that. Leaf springs forever. So it wasn't all plain sailing. Bullet's been outside for some time now, and it looks as though some rainwater has entered the fuel cell on the tray.
Do you know there's a small amount of diesel in your tray-mounted water tank? That 3mm layer on top is the diesel.
While the clean up of the cell, and we put clean diesel in, we thought we dodged a bullet, but later found more damage. A leaking injector pipe. Could this have been from water damage? Now Brian's wealth of knowledge exceeds all expectations. He's pulled this injector apart. His diagnosis was that it was leaking between the upper and lower body of the injector. Now the concern was that the fitting was tight, so why was it leaking? So with the injector back in, we've got our fingers crossed. And priming up here, doing up the injector lines.
Okay.
Wow, Brian, you are the master. Now let's get back to what it was here for, hey? So undoing the tie rods. Drilling out the drive flanges. These have been coming loose over the past couple of runs. Look at all those fancy bits. He's knocking in the new racers. Nice bit of gear, hey? On sit the new high steer arms. So at this point, we can reveal. These are the Hellfire knuckles to suit the 80 series diff for high steer arms. So the knuckles that Brian built, what, a year ago? They've been awesome. Now my only complaint is that the tie rod on the back of the diff down low. And whatever rock I can find, I get caught on there. Being used to a Hilux high steer setup where the tie rod and the drag link are both on top of the springs up front. And the only way we were going to get this was to purchase these Hellfire knuckles from Rough Stuff. So with the knuckles in for the mock-up, the tie rod that we had on the back of the diff earlier is now short. So it's sitting in place but with only 20mm thread in the rod. So I make a call to a friend of mine, Josh, who owns Hill Fab here in Sydney. And while he's making me up a new link, Brian gets started on the cylinder. Now we feel that the cylinder's going to be in front of the diff this time, so we will need to modify the ram. Jacob here, he's getting rid of a ding that I've been sick and tired of for a long time. This happened at a URC round, the one at Cooma. Wow, Jacob, you're about done yourself, mate. It looks fantastic. Cleanup time. So what Brian's measuring here is the outside diameter of that new link. That sleeves over beautifully. And voila, enter the new ram clamp. While that cools down, we'll crack a coldie. So we'll have plenty of stubby coolers to go around at the Sydney 4-wheel drive and adventure show. They'll be $5 each. Come over to our stand and grab yourself one. A visit out to another mate, Mark, at Carroll Springs in Smithfield. We needed some caster wedges and a new main leaf for those front springs. Jacob's making things look cool underneath and hitting things too. Wait a minute, is that the fuse cover that Brian's cutting up? The one that sits next to the accelerator on the kick panel? Have a look at that new cylinder, it's looking good. So we still have issues whether or not that tie rod now will clear the sump. Life's all about clearances and knowing your heights, right Shell? So with the engine bay back together, the boys start working on an exhaust. A 2.5 inch mandrel bent from the dump pipe back. They're forming up the dump pipe bracket here. Finishing off the other two mounts, back working on the cylinder. So he's setting the thread up here in the end. Putting it all together. His knowledge and skill, just phenomenal. Look at that.
Oh, he's got a brake.
Boys, this isn't a driving event, right? But I can't wait to drive it. I'm sure it's going to sound fat. That definitely sounds more adult-like. Wouldn't you agree?
Been a request from the Navy for more soot.
Oh my goodness.
Angle with this type of vehicle, but you are going to start to worry about ending up on the side. He's a bit wild there.
He's making a short work of that obstacle.
Good morning, the Sydney 4 Drive Show.
He's caught that cone. He's got another 10-point penalty, but he has laid it down in one piece.
So we're definitely going to miss mixing it with the others on Tough Dog Mountain. If you're going to the show, make sure you have a look at some of these vehicles. For those coming to visit us at the show, if you're buying your tickets online, the discount code is BULLET, B-U-L-L-E-T. Saves you $3 on an adult ticket. Now that $3 could be going towards Bullet merch for you. These are our RCVs from Roadrunner Off-Road and repacking with the Penrite Molly grease, the CV grease. I love this handy tube you can get, mess-free, easy application and found in all auto stores. Knuckles going back on now for the final time. The CV's going in. The old ram bracket getting cut off. Now the way he's cutting it here, he's planning to reuse it. Brian's math bench and working out which pitman arm he's going to use between the flat one we took off and an 80 series one. You want to hear a funny story? Well, it's not that funny. The drag link is now short, just like the tie rod was, by about 60 mil. But we wanted to have a test run before the show. So while we wait for our new link to get made up from Josh again at Hill Fab, he makes up, well, a giant washer. Have a look at that knuckle in action. It's hitting both stops. So full lock left and full lock right, hitting the bump stop. Time to set up the ram now, and it's all about clearances. It's so easy to get this wrong. So what do we always say? Custom equals does not fit. He's clearly happy with this spot. This is just going together so effortlessly. I'm really suspicious. So much hidden detail. Look, he's had to create a low profile diff breather port. He needed this for clearance on the ram, and even needing to create a low profile nut and bolt set to hold the ram. So all these clearances, everything is just so tight under there. So this needs to be set up 100%. To get what we earlier saw is full lock left to right. Needs to be set up so that the ram goes both ways evenly. And if set up wrong, we will lose lock one way or the other. So what have we got left? We've got some hoses to hook up, wheel bearings and hubs. I mean, what could go wrong? But look at this disaster. So these hoses are the original ones we got with the original trail gear ram. It was a whole kit we got from them. And not only do we have to undo the other side from the steer box, which is a nightmare, but last minute we've got to try and work out how to get these hoses. We've got the weekend coming up. Hopefully I've got better news in a couple of days. We'll put up another video and we'll show you whether or not we'll even make the show. I hope you enjoyed this one. We'll touch base in a couple of days. And as always, thanks for watching.